And now, live from C Nation Studios at Owen Academy, it's the C Nation Podcast Show.
Hey guys, welcome back. Today, is today Thursday? Oh my gosh, today's Thursday. Today's Thursday, March 26th. We are here in Studio B. I am Mr. C. How you doing? Miss all you guys. Hope you've been practicing. This is advanced practices for my band students. Okay. If you're ready for a challenge in a big way, this episode is for you guys. All right. Whether you're a 6th grader just getting into jazz and you want to take it a next step further with your soloing, whether you're a 5th grader and you're ready to try something new and something different, whether you're a 4th grader and you're looking to be one of the very best like no one ever was, this is the place to be. I'm glad to have you here. And whether you're not, I'm glad you're watching. Hope you're doing well. So, wish I could be, I'll turn my headphones up a little bit. There we go. All right. I completely forgot what I was going to say, but we're going to keep moving forward, okay? I'm going to be throwing a lot of information around different places. And one of the best places to look is, once again, in your Standard of Excellence book, okay? Page 42. Yes, this has to do with scales. Oh! Yeah, well, if you know your scales already, this is the next challenge, okay? This is where we're going to change it up. This is going to help improve your solos. This is going to help give you new ideas for solos, okay? And, you know, think about you guys a lot. I hope you're all doing well. I know we're not at the school making music, but I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you tuned in watching the C Nation Podcast Show here. And, yeah, I want to give a shout out to my music teachers, whether they're still teaching music or not. Miss Atkinson, wherever you might be. Mr. Spalding, I hope you're enjoying retiring. Mr. Price, I hope you're having fun out in whatever you're doing. I know you went out to Hellendale now, and once again, thank you for helping out with Honor Band. Mr. Sherrod, I hope you're doing well. Craig over at VVC, I hope you guys are doing well. All right, let's get into it. So I've been looking at a lot of my books lately, okay? I have this one, Scales for Jazz Improvisation. I have, let me reach over here, my daily studies for saxophones. And I'm going to put this right here for now. And also, I always refer back to this book, but Standard of Excellence. Okay, if you're one of my students, you know that I still have my book. This isn't my book. My book is still at the school. But I did grab a saxophone book, and if you can tell, I'm going to be working on my saxophone next trip. Okay. Scales are a big, important part of you developing as a musician. Okay, I've said it before. But we're not going to look at a typical scale this time. Okay. In my last video, where I had the saxophone, the trumpet, the trombone, and the clarinet, I gave some of my more advanced players some suggestions on stuff to practice. Well, in this video, we're going to look at that right now, okay? So, if you have your Standard of Excellence book, okay, I am on page 42, the scale at the top. Now, remember, this is your concert B-flat major scale, concert B-flat major scale, okay? It says it in the parentheses, concert B-flat major, okay? For saxophones, this is our G scale. For trumpets, this is your C scale. For flutes and trombones, this is your B-flat scale. All right? Whatever it is, though, it's going to be the scale at the top of page 42, Scale Studies, Standard of Excellence book, okay? Now, the 5th grade classes, we haven't really covered scales, okay? 4th and 6th grade, though, we have definitely worked with this. All right? And if you're a 5th grader and you're wondering what this is all about, okay, if you still have your Standard of Excellence book, because I gave one to everybody this year, we're at page 42, Scale Studies, the first scale at the top, okay? Work through this and go back into the previous video, whether you're a flute and you have your own video, or your trumpet, trombone, clarinet, sax. And baritone horns, if you're treble clef, baritone horn, you can work through the treble clef one. Okay, bass clef, my one bass clef, you know what to do. Okay, go through this a couple times, get it down. Okay, you'll be able to figure this out. It's easy. It's all notes that you know. Okay, but over here, this is where we usually stop at this whole note right there. Okay, 5 measures in, 1 measure, 2 measure, 3 measures, 4 measures, 5 measures in. That's usually where we stop. Okay, right at the top it says arpeggios. We're gonna take a look at this. Then we're gonna take a look at the second line where it says thirds. Okay. Now, in a matter of speaking, this thirds right here is almost exactly like what we just did up here. All right, and I talked about thirds, but we're gonna look at that in a little bit. Okay, arpeggios. So, for this arpeggio, I have a G, a B, a D, a high G, an F sharp, another D, a C, an A, and a G. This is jumping around to different steps in a scale, okay? So you have the G as your first step. Why am I saying this is my first step? And if you're a different instrument, obviously yours is not going to say a G, okay? If you're a trumpet and clarinet, your first note is going to be a C. If you're a flute or in a trombone, your first note is going to say B flat, okay? But at the beginning of this arpeggio, this is a G scale, right? G major scale or concert B flat major scale, okay? So there's my tonic of the scale. Tonic means your root note, the first note of the scale, okay? It's a tonic, it's the root, it's the first step. It starts on a G. There's your G right here. If I were to put numbers on every one of these notes, that's how I'd figure out the step of the scale. Here's your first step, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and eighth, or your octave, okay? Or this could be the 1, okay? A lot of people approach this differently, okay? But the G, the note that you're starting the scale on, for beginning scale studies, this is going to be your root note, usually the note that you start on, okay? This is my 1. And a G scale, your G is your 1, your A is your 2, your B is your 3, C4, D5, E6, F sharp, 7, and then your octave, okay? So now if I'm a trumpet player and a clarinet player and I'm looking at the C scale, well then, I do have a C scale right here. Look at that. C is your 1, D is your 2, E is your 3, F is your 4, G is your 5, A is your 6, B is your 7, and C is your octave, your 8. Okay, all right, and sorry, flutes, I don't have a B flat one, but I do have my flute book. Let's get the flute book out. That's trombone. That's clarinet. Here's flute. All right, flutes. I'm gonna leave my flutes out. Page 42. That first note, your B flat is your 1. Your C is your 2, your D is your 3, your E flat is your 4, because there's 2 flats. Okay, where's my E flat? F is 5, G is 6, A is 7, and B flat is your octave, your 8, whatever. Okay, that's how this works. That's how you figure this out. Okay, well, Mr. C said the third step of the scale. So if I'm a flute player, the third step of my scale is B is 1, C is 2, D is my third step. And yes, I meant B flat. Okay, I know, not going with the flats. All right. Anyways, arpeggios are jumping around to different notes in the scale, okay? The cool thing about the beginning of the arpeggio is it's a chord. Okay, if you're a piano player and you play chords, bling, 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 okay, this is what we're doing with arpeggio. We have a 1, the 1 of the scale. Man, there's not a good way to do this, is there? We have the 1, 3, 5, and 8. This is our 7th, okay? And then back to the 5, and then 4, 2, 1. Okay? So when we play it, got my saxophone. Alright, my King Zephyr. This saxophone is really cool. Playing on my Van Doren mouthpiece. I believe it's an A75 Jumbo Java. Yeah, it's pretty loud, and I should probably have my classical mouthpiece, but I don't. Okay, so the scale. For saxes, this is our G scale. For trumpets and clarinets, once again, this is our C scale. My favorite scale, Mr. C scale. Trumpets and trombones, our B flat scale. 2 flats, B and E. Okay, saxes. If you have your instrument out, let's play the scale together. It doesn't matter what you're playing. Let's play it, okay? If you're guitar or piano and you know your scales, play B flat major scale, okay? If you're a guitar player, bass player, your middle finger is on the 6th fret, okay? And you play the scale. 2nd finger, 4th finger, change strings. 1st finger, 2nd finger, pinky, change strings. 1st finger, ring finger, pinky. Okay. All right. Here's a G scale. I'm trying to play very quiet, and I probably should change my mouthpiece because I don't want it to be overpowered in the video. Okay. Now remember, with these scales on this book, the first note is a half note. And then once I get up to the high G, it's also a half note. I'm not playing it like that. I'm playing straight quarter notes all the way through. Okay? I'm not going to stop for a half note. And you should do that too. Okay? Now, I'm not going to say the book is wrong. They just did it differently. It's not wrong, technically. Okay? You can mix up the note values as much as you want when you're playing a scale. Whatever you want to do. Okay? It's not wrong. It's just different. Okay? I prefer, and I recommend that you practice your note values for the scales the same all the way through the scale. Everything a quarter note. G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G, and then backwards, okay? You want to go fast and go 8 notes? Go for it. Nobody's going to stop you, and it's practice. The arpeggio, though, okay? It's just like that, all right? It's not hard at all. And see, I like this. They wrote it out in quarter notes. There's no half notes involved in that arpeggio. I'm hiding over here. Okay? It's all straight quarters right here. Ba 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 ba. All right? This is something great to practice. And I'm going to play over here because I don't want it to be too loud. Funky with it, sorry. Okay? Work on those arpeggios. Doesn't matter what instrument you're playing, okay? Take pieces of the scale and make it into a cool type of solo. All right? Now, the thirds is very good practicing for making yourself a little bit faster, okay? Getting used to jumping around on your instrument with your fingers, okay? So here's what we're doing with our arpeggio. Ba 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 ba. Okay, we're skipping some notes. The beginning of the arpeggio, G, B, D. All right, we're jumping. We're G, skipping the A, going to B, skipping the C, going to D. See that? We're skipping some notes. Okay, and yes, you can do that. If you're soloing, if you're a 6th grader in the jazz band and you're soloing, I don't really like it if you're going to play a scale straight through as a solo. Because I know that you can be more creative and figure out a way to make it your own. And all you have to do is just mix up the notes. Okay? So, once again, arpeggios. All right, work on that. And speed is the key, okay? Once you get it down, you got the notes right, push yourself to be a little bit faster. All right. The thirds. Okay. When I was a kid practicing, a lot of the times, if I'm telling you the truth, I did not like to practice. Until I found out that practicing is just playing your instrument. And, you make it your own. And I started making it more fun for myself. I always thought that when I practiced, I could only practice the music that was given to me, and that's it. And then one day I broke free from that. Oh, I can write my own songs. Oh, I can listen to stuff that I hear on the TV and try to figure out how to play it. Okay? But when I started checking out these scales on my own, I tried the thirds, and I tried the arpeggio. And I thought it was kind of cool. So I've known these for a long time. And the thirds, I practice with saxophone, I practice with bass, I practice with guitar. Okay? All these techniques carry on to whatever instrument you play. So, if you're a certain 5th grade girl guitar player that likes to play every instrument, this isn't really going to carry over for drums. All right? But guitar, bass, work on trumpet. Your sister played trumpet. Why not? A saxophone, a piano. Okay, this stuff right here is going to make you better with everything. All right? Not just with your saxophone or your clarinet or your trumpet or your flute, with everything. All right? It carries over to whatever you play. Thirds. All right, here we go. So, thirds is actually a scale, but you're going to play one note, then you're going to add a note 3 steps higher than that, and then go back in the scale. This might be confusing. I sound confusing just listening to myself talk. Okay? So I'm just going to explain it. Okay? First, you're going to play a G. If you're a sax player, you're going to play a G. Then you're going to play a B because that's a third from a G. Then you're going to go to A, and you're going to play a third from an A, which is a C. Then you're going to go to a B and play a third from a B, which is a D. Then you're going to go to C and play a third from a C, which is an E, and so on and so on. Okay? You're jumping like this. Dun, 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 dun. All right? If you're a flute player, let me see if I can do this. Can I do this? I can do this. You're going to play B flat. And then you're going to jump to a third from a B flat, which is, I don't want to be wrong. Let me get the book. Let me get the book. I don't want to be wrong. I don't want to get, this is a trombone book. There was a flute book. Flute. Yep, it is a D. Okay. So, if you're a flute, you're going to play a B flat. Then you're going to play a third from a B flat, which is a D. Then you're going to play a C. And you're going to play a third from this C, which is your E flat. Then you're going to play your D. And you're going to play a third from a D, which is an F. Then you're going to play an E flat. And a third from an E flat is a G. And so on and so on and so on. Clarinets and trumpets and trombones, that works for you too. Okay, with the flutes. Clarinets and trumpets, you're going to play a C, and then you're going to play a third from a C, which is an E. Then you're going to play a D. Then you're going to play a third from a D, which is an F. All right? It's going to sound like this. Once you get to the G, according to this book, you're not going to go any higher. If you can keep going past that G, keep going. If you can go full range of your instrument, it makes you that much better. Okay? When I was in middle school, there was maybe a small handful of us that can go full range of our instrument. High school, believe it or not, kind of the same thing. There was a couple real serious sax players in my section when I was in high school, but other than that, no one else was really serious, and they didn't know certain notes on their instrument. If you know all these notes on the instrument, you're that close to mastering it. Okay? So, here's how the thirds is going to go again. And remember, I'm looking at the second line of the top scale of the page 42. Okay? And everything is in your book, okay? Here we go. Here's the first step. And it's always going to play a third. Third higher, meaning, okay, if my first note is a G, G, A, B, G, B, A, B, A, yeah, A, B, C, A, and C. Okay? B, B, C, D, B, and D. That's what we mean by thirds, okay? Here we go. It's going to sound like this. I'm going to play over here because I don't want to be too loud. get to the top, you're going to go backwards. All right? Cool. Work on that. When you get it down, push yourself to be faster. Okay? Try to see if you can keep going beyond that top note. There, I went all the way up to the high D. I didn't want to go any higher. All right. And then go backwards. You got to go backwards and go as far as you can low. Once you get to this G, okay, let's see. You keep going. Okay, it's definitely possible. You might need to think about it for a little bit or even write it out. It's a pattern. It will always be a third. Okay? So work at it. All right? And going backwards, let's see. So if I'm going backwards a third, G, F, E. Da, da. And then F sharp. Da, F, E, D. There's another third. Da, 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 da. And so on and so on and so on. Okay? So not just forward, it's backwards too. You ready to take it another step forward? Okay? This isn't in your book. I have plenty of books that I have this, though. Okay? Do fourths. Okay, well, Mr. C, how do I do fourths? Pick a note that you're starting on. Let's use the same scale. Make it easy for yourself, okay? G major scale at the top of page 42. Concert B flat major for everybody, okay? G scale for saxophones, for alto saxophones. C scale for trumpets and clarinets and tenor saxes. B flat scale for trombones and flutes. Okay, take it a fourth. Okay, if I'm a saxophone player, what's my root note? What's my first step of the scale? What's the note that I'm going to start on? Okay, alto saxes, alto clarinet, it's a G. Okay, soprano sax, clarinet, bass clarinet, trumpet, baritone horn, treble clef, tenor saxes, all of you instruments, the first note your root note, your tonic of the scale is a C. Flutes, trombones, and I believe baritone, bass clef, it's a B flat. Okay? That's your one. That's your root. That's your tonic. And then count 4 steps. Okay? I'm playing alto sax. My tonic, my root, my 1 is a G. G. Count 4. G. G is your 1. A is your 2. B is your 3. C is your 4. Okay? So go G, C. Okay? And you keep going, just like we do with the thirds. But instead, make it a 4th step. Alright? And then go backwards. This is how you challenge yourself. Okay? Me, personally, going from thirds and going to fourths, starting with thirds and going to fourths, and not having the music in front of me, I had to think about it for a little bit. I was like, okay, I want to make sure I get this right. All right. Thirds, I've played for years. Fourths, I've never looked at until this year. Telling you the truth. Okay? Yes, you can go to fifths. Sure, you can go to... You don't really want to go to seconds because that's pretty much this... You know? Nah. Thirds is a little bit more of a challenge. Fourths. Go to fifths. Sure. Can you go to eighths? Can you go octaves? Yeah. It'll help you learn the higher notes on your instrument. It'll help you with the range. Sure, why not? Mix it up and make the scale interesting for you. When you get this down, oh my goodness, your solos are going to be amazing. You're going to know how to mix up these notes and turn them into something melodic. Okay? The next lesson that we're going to do is going to be like pro-level soloing stuff for you guys. Okay? I'm going to teach you guys about chords and how to break these chords apart and use them in your solos. All right? Cool. get to practicing, guys. I was practicing today. I actually had to break out a new reed because I think my other reed is getting too old, and I'm not liking the control on my mouthpiece right now. So, don't need the squeaking, you know? All right, guys. Well, be good. I miss all of you. You're all my kids. Try your best. Practice. This is the perfect time to practice. You're probably getting sick of doing the things that you've been doing this whole time. You're probably getting tired of playing video games a little bit. All right? Try something different. Get your instrument out. Make up a song. Work on your scales. All right? And have fun doing it. Make it fun for yourself. You don't want to be bored practicing, because then it's just a waste of your time. All right, guys. Have a good one. Like I said, you're all my kids. I miss you. Be good. Don't drive your families crazy too much. Eat your vegetables. And I'll see you guys soon. Peace.